Okay, well, I'm going to come now. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us today at the Bell Reform Town Hall meeting. It's a tragedy what's going on here in New Jersey, and we feel really obligated to come here and try to help these folks, not just the bail agents of this state, but also the people who are being impacted by what's going on with pretrial release. There's a lot of people who are putting in an enormous amount of effort, and we have a couple of videos that we want to show you, and we want to really bring you up to speed on what's going on here, so that when people speak, you know who they are, you know what their story is, and you know why they're here. I want to acknowledge a lot of people who make this happen. You know, your pastor is amazing. He really is. And I'll tell you, I was a Mennonite. How many of you know what a Mennonite is? Like 60. Okay, so you empathize with me, right? All right. So I was raised very strict, very stern upbringing, very strict. In a church basically didn't believe in dancing or cutting your hair or very odd things. Just one slat short of Amish. We actually had TV, they didn't. So that was almost the only difference. Very strict upbringing, but because I had that base upbringing, I was always able to return to center. No matter how mad I was, no matter how bad I got, no matter what drug I did, no matter how drunk I got, no matter what crime I committed, no matter what car I joyrided. And I could go on. Because when you put his criminal record up next to mine, looks like Bonnie and Clyde. It's no wonder they won't let us into London. We have to apply separately. But because I had the Christian base, I always knew right from wrong. I knew what was right, I knew what was wrong. And I knew when I was being wrong. And so even sometimes when I sat in jail, and my mom wouldn't bail me out on a $50 bond, $50 is all she needed to pay to get me out. She wasn't going to do it. She just wasn't going to do it. But I turned out, okay? And I'm like, I had a very tumultuous love-hate relationship with my mother, because I thought, what kind of a woman just wouldn't bail me out for $50? I was just like, that's just, BS. And so I had very hateful feelings for her for a very long time, but it wasn't until after I got into this business and really started serving not just the Lord, but the whole community, and feeling responsible for my clients and their families, and talking to the moms and dads who would call me up at 9 o'clock at night and say, my kid is high on dope, and what am I going to do about it? Can you have dog call him? Can you come out and scare him? Can you come chase him around a little bit so that he'll get freaked out and know that we mean business? They have that right to call me. They have the right to call me. And I still do that on a day-to-day basis. My business in Hawaii is still the same. This bail reform has not touched me there yet. But the wave comes in and the wave goes out, as Mike just taught me earlier. The wave is starting here in New Jersey, and it's starting to create a tsunami effect across the country. Two things that come to mind for me. One, you have sort of the everyday urban criminal who is the menace or nuisance to your society. The guy who steals your identity out of your trash can. The guy who graffitis the church. The person who continually robs from the store or shoplifts because he doesn't have any other upbringing to teach him not to do that. Those folks are being returned to your streets on a day-to-day basis, almost instantaneously, like a revolving criminal welfare door. And then you have people who are arrested for some minor crime, but they have 75 crimes that they didn't get caught for that were really bad. They hurt people. They hurt people. And they're being returned to your streets every day, every minute of every second here in New Jersey on a day-to-day basis. They have taken out the doors at the jail and they installed a revolving door because the guy goes in and he comes back out. And the guy goes in and he comes right back out, sometimes in the same day. Because there's no common sense rules or parameters placed on what's going on with pretrial release. How many times is sufficient? Just let us know. Can a guy fail to appear in court 3 times, 5 times, 8 times, 10 times? How many times? How many times would you say is reasonable before we start saying, okay, that's enough. You just aren't coming back. You're just not going to do it. And guys that have been arrested for carrying a gun or having weapons on them or being known drug dealers or being people that do bad things, those guys, even if they change their lives,